Hey, you know what time it is.
It's time for the heart to heart journey to Unconditional Love Podcast.
Yes, I am your host, Delay Bloomer. That's my co-host, Harlem Brown. And what's up, Harlem Brown? What's going on?
It's another sunny day in the neighborhood. What's going on with you, Lake
Hey
Bloomer?
man, just going through the very first relationship. We going with Adam and the woman. Man, it's been great. It's been great. We got a jam-packed one for them today. Oh my God, I can't wait to get into it. So why don't we just get into it? What you think?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. So, you know what? I know I'm switching it up on you. You know how I do.
Let's get it.
So I know we had a name for this podcast, but I'm gonna change it because I'm gonna say this because we gotta put this, add this into it because it was just brought to me. You know what I mean? It was just brought to
Hmm.
me, and we gotta add this on. So the name of this podcast is Boom. Who are you bringing in your mess?
Wow.
Who are you bringing in your mess? And the reason why
Wow.
I want to do that is because I know we've been talking about the very first relationship, but we
Hmm.
can see how both Adam and the woman brought things into, brought mess into this relationship. She brought Adam into her mess by wanting to partake from the fruit. You know what I mean? She
Hmm.
allowed the serpent to deceive her, and she brought Adam into her mess. And then now Adam brought her into his mess because he just he just denounced it like, yo, it's who you gave me, God. Like, what's up with that? You gave me this woman. She the one that did it, threw her under the bus big time. So with God, that's Adam's mess with God. He throws her into it. And it's crazy how when we're in relationships, we just bring people into our mess.
Because we don't trust God. They neither one of them trusted God.
Is that what it was?
I don't think either one of them really trusted. I think they knew God as their friend. They didn't trust him. Like I think even when I was small, like I would always hear like, oh, if it wasn't for the woman, we would like you always heard that, how we so bad. And then I'm just like, if we know we so bad, why didn't Adam just like be like, you can't do that because he's supposed to because as a little girl growing up, like the boys are supposed to be the men's supposed to be in charge, right? So why he didn't take charge and be like, no, you can't do that, and no, we're not gonna eat it. He was with her, so why he let her eat it?
Right.
So I think my whole thing was always like, I gotta defend her a little bit because it's just okay, yeah, she did wrong and everything, but there should have been some correction in that. But who's to say that they knew to have that correction? I think Adam didn't trust God in saying, hey, like, not that you gave me this woman. Yeah, like, yeah, I ate it. I
Yeah.
mean, we both did, but maybe I should have stopped it. But I don't know. I've always had mixed feelings about how it kind of unfolded, but always felt like not that I had to take Eve's side for any reason or the woman's side for any reason. It's just like the stigma on just being a woman, and people are like, no, you're always trying to lead me into something bad, and it's not not that somebody's always trying to lead somebody into something bad. So that's just my little soapbox for 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, that was more than 2 seconds, but it's
Okay,
all
well, you got a
good.
whole 2 minutes. Then you
Now,
got
you know
2 minutes.
what? It's funny. The reason why I say that is because, yeah, I was always from the school like it was Eve's fault because
Right.
Eve, he enticed Adam like, hey, take a bite from the apple, So anytime a woman offered me something, I'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna be, I ain't, nah, don't try to be my Eve. I'm good. And I joke about it, but I was kind of serious in a way because I always felt it was Eve's fault. And
Right.
that's how I'm gonna put that out to the audience. Whose fault do you think it is? I mean, does anybody even have to take blame? But I'm just gonna say, what was your takes of this whole Adam and the woman thing or Adam and Eve thing? And what do you think that who's to blame for the demise of the very first relationship that has been that's that we know of, And I know we got a little off tangent, but I really want to know what that answer is because I've always believed it was Eve's fault. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not that kind of guy. I always put it on me. So I always thought that Adam should take blame too, and I felt it was both of them.
Yeah,
But if the woman would have just let the fruit alone, and she didn't know, she let somebody in her garden. We talked about that in the past podcast. Who's in your garden? She let somebody in her garden deceive her, and that was the demise of the relationship. Part of the demise of the relationship. I still think they both take full responsibility for it, but that's the demise. So we're gonna get into this. I know you had your soapbox, I have mine. So we gotta drop. We gotta drop the scripture.
absolutely. We gotta drop the word because that's
Yeah.
where it all stems from.
There it is. So here we go. We got to go back to Genesis. We're still in Genesis, but this time still chapter 3. But we're going to go chapter 3, verse 14 through 20. Could you read that for the audience, Harlan Brown?
Absolutely. I'm going to skip through it because it is a lot of word to read, but I'm going to give you exactly what the word says. So it starts with chapter 14 when it says, "So God said to the serpent, because you have done this, I will curse you and all your livestock and wild animals, and you will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. There will be animosity between you and the woman and her offspring and yours. To the woman, he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will bring forth your children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. And
Come
to
on now.
Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit from the tree, which I commanded you, you must not eat from. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from you were taken. For dust you are, and dust you will return.
Yeah.
Adam then named his wife Eve because she would become the mother of all the living."
That's crazy. So, I've been talking about, this story with a lot of people. And I always say, because I want to be right, and not so much right, and I want to be right and correct. I want to quote the scriptures the correct way. So we always talk about Adam and Eve. And I tell them, she wasn't even called Eve until much later.
Right.
So the woman, that's why I've always referred to her as the woman. But this is jam-packed. So we know whenever you do anything against God, there are consequences. So he laid his consequences down to kind of pave the way for how life was going to be post eating of the fruit and being disobedient, right?
Right.
So the first thing is he said the serpent is going to lie on their belly, which tells
That,
me that
yeah.
he was probably standing upright. So the serpent
Right.
wasn't always a snake as we have in our lives, or wasn't always a snake. So he that was the serpent's punishment, is to crawl on his belly for the rest of his life. So the
Right.
serpent, if we'd have known, if everything would have been good and they didn't eat eat the
The
fruit from the
serpents
tree,
would have been walking up to you like, hey.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't have been slithering around, but now they on their belly. So that was the first consequence. The second consequence was the birthing of children.
Yeah.
That is why you ladies have pains when you're giving labor. It was brought all the way back. Now I know Harlan Brown didn't read the whole all of the scriptures, the words in the scripture, but I suggest that you read all the words in the scripture.
Yes.
We just didn't do it for time-consuming purposes, but
Yeah.
make sure you read Genesis chapter 3. It's going to give you all of this. So that's a consequence of the woman, and we're going to go all the way down, and then we're going to circle back. So, and then the part that I like is women try to always figure out why men are dominant over them, or why they feel they're dominant over them. Read that part of the scripture, because I want women to hear this, because it didn't come from man just doing that. It came from this scripture.
It says, your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you.
Exactly. Your desire will be for your husband. That means you always are yearning for his love, and he's going to have dominion over you.
Exactly.
You know,
Because
so That wasn't
Didn't
something that
have
man just
dominion by
decided.
yourself because you started listening to other people. So now you need to listen to your husband.
You see how that works? Say that one more time because this is a heart to heart, and women must hear this.
You because and that's how I always took this scripture. Because y'all was cool and you had your way, he had his way, y'all did y'all thing. You let somebody come into the relationship, you let somebody interfere in that relationship and cause this strife. So now you listen to your husband because I don't want your husband to listen to you because when he listened to you, he got in trouble. So now you listen to your husband, right? Because you're going to have desire for him. You want to be with your husband, but he's going to have to be the one who rules over you. And
Yeah.
that was part of your punishment for going out there listening to other people. No, now you just listen to your husband.
Yeah, and that's it. And again, that's why we want to give you this lesson. Now, I'm not telling you this is what you need to do in your relationship. So don't get what Harlan Brown and I saying. We're just giving you the facts of what's in the Bible and what went awry in the very first relationship and how we can learn from this relationship, how we can have this heart to heart right now so that we can learn from this relationship. So the pains that you have as far as birthing comes from the not being obedient in the relationship, the yearning for your husband and him having dominion over you is because of how it was reacted in the first relationship. And now let's get to Adam's consequences.
And Adam's consequences because he ate from the fruit and he listened to his wife. Like that's in there. Like
Yeah, it says it right.
because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit from the tree which I commanded you that you must not eat from. Curse is the ground because of you.
Yeah,
Like through painful toil, you will eat. Like you're going to only eat what you reap, what you sow. You're going to eat what you get out of the
yeah,
ground. There's nothing going to be handed to you. Remember when they was in eat before they was in eating, they ain't had to worry about working to go get nothing to eat. The ground gave them food, right?
yes,
Once these consequences hit, now you got to work to get your food. You like everything has changed. These are the
yeah,
consequences behind um being disobedient. And like we have to really understand, like if we can see God give consequences to his first two, right? Then what makes us think that we can get away with doing whatever we want to do without having any consequences or repercussions behind it? Even when there's something going awry in a relationship, there is consequences behind those things. And
yeah,
so we need to, sit back and understand that this is why this is taking place. This is why we need to adjust this. This is why we need to do this. Um, so yeah,
and
like
then
there's
yeah,
consequences.
and it defined the roles, and God
Right,
defined the roles for him. Now man got to go out there and have hard labor and work for what he had had it made for.
right.
Women got to stay there, bear children, and yearn for their husband while their husband have dominion over them. So
Mm,
these are the consequences that you have, and these are the consequences that you have when you don't be right or do right in your relationships. And again, we're not telling you that this is how it is. We know this happened thousands and thousands of years ago. But it's a lesson to be learned that we can always
right.
learn from these two individuals and how they went about and made the wrong choices. They had the right mindset. They had maybe the right things in their heart, but they made the wrong choices. Because Eve probably thought if she took fruit, she would get the knowledge that she needed and she can help her husband do
Right.
whatever thing. Or the woman had that choice and had
Ooh,
that and had all of that there. But keep going through that scripture because now I want to
ooh.
get you where this. Oh, you already mentioned that Adam named her Eve, right?
Yeah, Adam
Yeah.
named her because she became the mother of all living, all the living.
Exactly. So now she becomes Eve after the fact.
Right. She
So
was
it
not
wasn't
Eve in
even in the
the beginning.
stories Adam and Eve made this. It was Adam and the woman, and then Adam named her Eve afterwards. And I'm
Right.
trying to think. I'm putting on my thinking cap in. Now, did he name her Eve short for evil?
No, he did not. He
I mean,
did
I'm
not.
just saying.
He just
Audience, y'all can chime in on this for me. Put it in the comments. Do you think Adam named
because she was
Eve
the mother of
short
all
for
living
evil?
things.
You
No,
said what?
because she would become the mother of all living.
Yeah. But he probably is like, that evil dude. I'm going
No,
to name
he
it
didn't.
Eve for
He did
short.
not say that. He said Eve because she was, and I wish I had a Greek scholar or like some knowledge on this because I love when people I have friends who went to theology school and they just break down the Greek and they'll tell me what Eve like what that meant in Greek and why it would be said like why it would be said that she is the mother of all living things on what Eve would have meant or how it translated. But I did not get that information. I'm gonna have to get that. I'm gonna find that out because I would love to break that down a little bit about her name
Yeah.
because I want to know why Eve means um, becoming the mother of all living things.
Yeah,
I
the
would like
mother of
to know.
all living things. So that's why women are so strong because if you're the mother of all living things, that's where that strength comes from,
Right.
because you started everything. You started everything and you have that backbone and you started a whole slew of people in, out, whatever. You are the mother of all things. So because of that, that's why women are so strong. And that's
Yeah.
why, there's some things that women do and men just sit back and be like, wow, that's because they are the mother of all things. But I don't want to get too far off tangent. This is important to know. And like I said, we're having a heart to heart. So in your relationship, who are you bringing in your mess? Who are you
Right.
bringing in your mess? Because your mess will lead others astray and they will suffer consequences for what you started.
Exactly.
So be careful when you're in a relationship. Don't bring nobody in your mess to have somebody suffer and they were innocent bystanders,
Exactly.
you know. And that's what we wanted to do. That's why this whole series is so impactful. And we still haven't really got to the nuts and bolts of everything. But I just wanted to make sure that people understood the consequences, the choices that were made, the consequences behind it, the naming of Eve, and and why there's this hurting at childbirth, and why men have the role of being having to have that hard labor, because
Mhm.
roles were defined in a relationship based on how they acted when God put them together.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Oh my God, it's too powerful for me, man. I
Yeah,
know
this
we
is
got to end the
awesome.
podcast. You got any last words there, Harlan Brown?
Read. Come on, y'all. Read. I need y'all to read these scriptures. I need y'all to really read these scriptures. I mean, the Bible the stories in the Bible are so impactful. There's so much knowledge there. There's so many nuggets for you to take with you to live your life in such a positive way. I just feel like just if you just crack it, like I said, Genesis is the first chapter. You ain't even got to get lost. All you got to do is open it and get to chapter 3, and you would be amazed of how many things that we struggle with and we don't even realize that it's right there in the book, and it kind of gives us a roadmap to what we need to be doing. So
Yeah.
read, y'all, read.
Yeah, it's a great foundation to have. I don't have any last words, but to say the same thing, piggyback off what Harlan Brown said. Just read this chapter. Understand that this is the mother of all relationships, and what you can do to avoid going down this path.
Right.
What you can do to make it to ensure and make sure that your relationship is ironclad. Make sure that your relationship is fun loving.
Yeah.
There's certain ingredients that come about that. That's love, selflessness,
Hmm.
foundation of God, showing humility,
Yes.
things like that will allow your relationship to grow, to just positiveness, bringing positiveness in there.
Yeah,
We talked about your mind, putting positive in your mind that comes out in your heart, and love one another, respect one another. Those are other words that we want you to use and have. And I know, again,
absolutely.
we went a little bit off script, but hey, this is serious to us. We want to make sure that everything is good for you guys, and making sure that we give you all a foundation and have that heart to heart. We're rocking the boat with this. So I know it's time to
Yeah.
go. We got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, as I end all my podcasts, trying to do something will keep you in the same place. But when you actually do something, your place has no limitations. I am your host, the late bloomer.
Yes.
That is my co-host, Harlem Brown, and we'll see you next
See you
week.
next week.